You open Instagram intending to look for just 2 minutes. When you finally look up, an hour has vanished. That familiar wave of guilt follows. Most assume this is a personal failure, a lack of willpower. But willpower is an insufficient defense against this specific architecture. This is a prehistoric evolutionary brain stepping into a trap set by a supercomputer. The algorithm operates as a counter-predictor. It isn't just serving videos. It monitors your micro-hesitations and scroll speeds to map your neural responses in real time. Digital addiction is the result of a systematic biological hijack of distinct regions in your brain. The first target is the superior colliculus, the brain's orientation center. This region is constantly trying to predict which visual stimuli will appear next. The feed provides a baseline of comfortable content to establish a rhythm, then injects a sudden shock of novelty to physically lock your orientation center onto the screen. Once the system has your attention, it exploits negative bias. Human biology prioritizes threats and outrage over positive rewards because, evolutionarily, the amygdala needs to track danger to keep you alive. The algorithm identifies content that triggers fear or social comparison. Because you linger longer on things that make you feel less than or angry, the system classifies these as high interest. You continue scrolling because your prehistoric survival instinct has been artificially weaponized against you. The hijack then moves to the ventral striatum, the brain's primary dopamine and reward center. To keep you returning, the platform utilizes intermittent reinforcement. This is the same conditioning tool used to make slot machines addictive. This timeline graph shows the mechanism in action. The algorithm often holds back notifications for likes or comments, drip-feeding them to you in a single massive spike at specific times to maximize the dopamine response. This manipulated delivery system mimics the neurobiological response found in substance addiction, training the brain to crave the app. These notifications function as calculated behavioral conditioning, training you to open the app during your most vulnerable hours. The final hijacked region is the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for executive function and signaling when a task is complete. The infinite scroll is a psychological nudge designed specifically to eliminate stopping cues. By removing the end of the page, the algorithm bypasses your executive function. This schematic shows how the pathway to the prefrontal cortex is effectively sidelined by a continuous loop. Your brain enters a state of hypnotic flow. In this trance-like state, you lose track of time and basic physical needs like sleep, thirst, and movement. The infinite scroll is an engineered mechanism that shuts down your brain's internal defense systems. Over months of interaction, the system builds a comprehensive map of your specific psychological vulnerabilities. Through collaborative filtering, you're grouped into lookalike audiences. If your data suggests susceptibility to specific body image or political hooks, the algorithm pushes that content into your cluster. This creates an echo chamber, filtering out outside perspectives, amplifying only the most extreme, engaging signals. Constant exposure to these algorithmic extremes begins to reshape your self-schema, the internal model of what you believe is normal. You begin measuring your own life against a curated, distorted reality. This persistent feedback loop functions as a behavioral design machine that actively reshapes your identity. Recognizing social media overuse as a neurobiological hack is the first step to breaking the cycle. Identifying the invisible levers, like negative bias and intermittent reinforcement, strips the algorithm of its subconscious power. You can manually re-engage the prefrontal cortex by setting physical stopping cues, such as external timers, that the infinite scroll cannot bypass. While you cannot out-willpower a supercomputer, understanding the anatomy of the hijack allows you to refuse to be its host.